Madam Speaker,
I
te
call
reo
the
Māori
Honourable Shane Jones.
I te tuatahi. Taupō nui a tia, ngā maunga hura tau, a tongariro, ngā uruhoi, tatu atu ki arua pehu, Tūwharetoa iwi, te heuheu tangata, tēnā koutou ka tatu mai ki roto I tēnei whare whakaharahara, whakahirehira I tēnei rā I whakaritea, hei whakatutuki mā mātou ngātahi me koutou I enei nawe, mo te hia rānei roa e tāre wāna I wainga tunu I a koutou me te karauna. Te wahanga ki te hunga kua wheturangitia. Taku tūranga mutunga nā kua anō I mihi atu ki ngā rangatira pērā I a Pat Hurama. Nā kua anō I mihi atu ki a taxi, ki ngā kaumātua I mōhio ai ahau no koe te tamariki ki te kura I tipene. Nā reira e kara e tumu tēnei ahau te tāpai nei te ingo tō pāpā. I te auraro o te motu, I wainga tonu I a tātou, I raro I te tuanui o tēnei ware. Tō pāpā nāna te iwi Māori I whakakotahi I tōna wā. Te kaumātua nāna a te ātairangi kāhu I tautoko hei tuara mona. Nā reira rātou ki a rātou, tātou ki a tātou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Madam Speaker, in our Māori language, acknowledged a number of the people that have gone on, but in particular acknowledge Te Ariki, the paramount chief of Tūwharetoa, Tumu Te Heuheu, and recite the name of his father, because 100 years ago, there was a Te Heuheu in this parliament. 100 years ago, Tūreiti was a member of the Legislative Council. And it was during that period of time, after he had worked with Taiaroa of the Ngaitahu to assemble a group and to drive forward the notion of a kotahitanga movement, he eventually took up the position of being in the Legislative Council. Oh, that he were here today to hear the speeches and to witness in 100 years the distance that ordinary Kiwis, politicians, professionals, and those that make up our increasingly diverse community, what we have grown into. Of course, Madam Speaker, it's virtually 150 years ago what is regarded as the final incident of the so-called Māori land wars took place at Te Porere, where Te Kōti escaped, wounded, but the chief of Tūwharetoa was wrongfully arrested for having been perceived as offered shelter and offered assistance to that redoubtable warrior chief of the Māori world, Te Kōti Rikirangi. And it was during the Second World War, Madam Speaker, that one of the most famous cases pertaining to our Treaty of Waitangi took place at the Privy Council between the Paramount Chief Te Heuheu of that time and the Aotea Maori Lands Board. And that is when the Privy Council established the dictum that unless the Treaty of Waitangi was incorporated into actual municipal domestic legislation in New Zealand, it had no status. So we are talking about leaders and a body of our Māori tribal community that in many respects have been at the forefront of various attempts to bridge the gap between the colonial powers of that time, create a rallying point for Māori endeavour. So it's a great deal of pleasure on behalf of my leader and my colleagues from all across the House to stand and acknowledge what has been achieved today. And what has been said in our Māori language, that what we do today creates the platform to move forward. The quantum, the land, the resources are an important endowment, but I think it's fair to say that because this goes, Madam Speaker, these settlements to the actual foundational influences of what makes up New Zealand, the Crown, represented by that historic figure, Queen Victoria, and the rangatira wearing the koka and holding the honey as reflective of that original partnership. So we stand very proud today alongside not only Tūwharetoa but the ministers. And I do want to acknowledge Minister Christopher Finlayson. He has had a tremendous period of advocacy, leadership and toil in this space. Of course, there will be some who will think back about that time that did New Zealand do too much and pander to too many of the aspirations of iwi. No, they didn't. Whoever the minister is holding this role, we are stewards for our broader community, but we also seek to right the wrongs of the past. And as he goes forward into a private life, that is very good. We will no longer have to tolerate his sarcasm in this House. But I have to say, Madam Speaker, it's been what we say in Māori, a type of reo kawa, a provocative sort of language. And I only hope that when he journeys around Aotearoa and has his holidays, they are closer to Ngāi Tahu and Tūhoi. For God's sake, don't go to Ngāpuhi. So, to the officials that have given of their time, to our Pākehā professionals who have also provided leadership in bringing the kaupapa to this particular point, this is a part of New Zealand where there genuinely were sacrifices given, not the least of which is when Te Heuheu responded to grace, that one way forward was to gift the maunga, and then they would remain as a permanent contribution and a permanent taonga. This is also the area when our Māori soldiers, Madam Speaker, came back from the First World War. It was Te Heuheu and Topia and Kingi who provided land heading over towards the Ruahine as redevelopment, settlement farms for our men coming back from the First World War. Now, a cynic might say there was so much empty space, it was a natural thing to do. But the reality is, history records that the people of this area have not only provided a great rallying point for our own people, they have provided on a host of occasions very generous gestures, and they should be recited in this day as a small part of what was lost is restored back into the care of the iwi. So e kore wēnei mihi aku e koni atu e kara e tumu atu I tēnei. Tautoka nei ngā koro taku tamaiti a pēni, kei kona ngā koro wainga tonu I a mātou me koutou mo te wā I a tāmati wakanene, mo te wā I a te wera hauraki. Waiho wēnā hei take kōrerotanga mā tāua ki runga I o tāua marae. Ko tēnei rā, ko te reo tēnei o te kaitoranga pu, he mihi atu kia koutou, he mihi atu ki ngā minita, nā reira tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou, kia ora tātou katoa.
O te whare. I call Joe Hayes.
Kia ora, e ngā maunga rua pehu, ngā ruhoi tongariro.